Hi, Richard Gladwell here for Sail World. We're here with Dean Bark. So you've done a lot of sailing and IACC boats. What was the transition like coming over to the catamaran? Is it a lot of things you do in a catamaran counterintuitive to what you would do in a monohull?
Well, it's not quite a different sport, but it almost is. It's multi-hull sailing has obviously a lot of similarities. You're using all the same sort of basic principles that you do in any yacht, but there are certain aspects of multi-hull sailing which are definitely counterintuitive to what we know from the past, and I suppose unlearning years and years of habits or things that are just natural in a monohull environment, and trying to relearn those things or re-ingrain those into the brain is actually, it's a very tough, hard process, because you in a multi-hull, as it gets breezier, it has to be very instinctive. When you make a decision to bear away or to how you're going to handle the boat in certain situations, you have to know what the exit strategy is. How do you deal with it if it starts going bad, and really trying to learn what the boat, or trying to learn when the boat's not close to the edge. And we've had a few instances now where, particularly in the 45, where we've probably pushed a little bit too hard, and you find the edge, and we don't want to do that in the 72.
So when we talked to Grant Dalton, he spoke about Glenn Ashby having quite a pivotal role. What's the sort of relationship there that is he like a coach on board in terms of running the crew, or are you running the crew, or what's the dialogue that goes on between you in terms of having to hot the boat up and ease off?
Well, I definitely, my role is to run the crew on board the boat, and everything's sort of triggered. You have to, in these things, communication is just about impossible because of the noise and the apparent wind and everything else. So through the comms, I end up controlling all the different manoeuvres. Glenn, when he came into the team, absolutely his role was to help upskill all of us to make us, or give us an understanding what was involved in multi-hull sailing. But the level on the team now is the depth is very strong. The guys all learned a lot about multi-hull sailing, and we sort of, we're now at the point, particularly with the sort of speed group involved in the team, that we're sort of constantly, I guess, challenging each other and how to sail and trim the boat better. So Glenn's been fantastic. We've struck up a good relationship, and one of the strengths that Glenn brings to this campaign is that he's renowned as one of the best, if not the best, multi-hull sailor in the world, and he's completely dominated A-class for a long, long time. And in the sailing that I did against him in the A-class, he really impressed, with the way he just pushes harder than anyone else. He sort of, I guess that's sort of the attitude of just sort of pushing hard and everything, and that, I guess, is where we've sort of had to change the style from being conservative in certain conditions in a monohull to leaning on the boat or pushing the boat hard in breeze and conditions where you'd sort of, I think the natural reaction is to back off, and I think that's where he's really added a lot of his value, and so that particular day when we're coming back, he saw, the dialogue between him and I is sort of, it was constant, just trying to keep the boat nicely balanced up on the foils and sailing as quick as we can, and just sort of always sort of talking about where the edge is, and trying to together trying to understand where that point is.
How hard is it for you as a helmsman, though, to be told keep winding it up when you're in a condition where your natural reaction is to ease off a bit and take things quietly?
Well, I think we've done enough multi-hull sailing in the last couple of years now that it is becoming more natural. You learn quickly that this is sort of just the way you have to sail these boats, and it's the same in the 45 to a degree. They don't have any lift in the foils, so you are limited in how hard you can push those things. But with boats with these lifting foils, they allow you just to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And if you want to sail the boat well, you've got to be prepared to push the boat hard.
So the day I was out with you and we were going upwind, and suddenly she started lifting up on the foils upwind, what happened there? Were you expecting that, or did it catch you unawares, or what?
We had we had a few situations where we knew that we could generate a lot of lift, particularly upwind as well if we wanted to, and we'd been experimenting with a few different features on the boat, and this particular day we'd sort of added some features to the boat which we hadn't really anticipated would sort of lead to that result. And so when the boat took off, did a big wheelie upwind, it was it was a bit of a surprise. But again, we'd sort of been through similar experiences on the 33s, and so I think the benefit of having lived through a lot of these different attitudes of the boat in the 33 scale made us a lot better prepared when they happen in the 72 scale.
Okay, well, thanks very much. All the best.
Thanks very much, Richard.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Right.